Okay, here we have the Epiphone Zakk Wylde custom ZV guitar, Bullseye. As you can possibly see, although it wasn't immediately obvious to me until it was pointed out, top half of this guitar looks like an SG, even down to the offset horns. Bottom half looks like a flying V, so you got the best of two designs melded together there, which is quite impressive to start with. Let's start with the up at the top here with the tuners, black tuners, Grover tuners on a standard Epiphone headstock. There's not much to say about that. That's the headstock which sits on most of the Epiphone guitars, a little pinch-waisted, gable-topped, pinstripe binding, all very pleasant. The neck itself is a maple neck. Now this might come as a surprise on what looks like a heavy metal guitar, but apparently it's the favoured choice of Mr. Wylde himself, so I'm certainly not going to argue with that. It's a kind of I think it's called a D shape. It sort of has a bit of depth to it this way, but nice slimness to it that way. It does feel nice and substantial for the kind of music you were playing with it, but it's not overly chunky like an old style Les Paul neck. The neck itself is fixed, so that means it's glued in to this socket. That helps in tone transmission and stability of tuning and such like. Rosewood fretboard with the big fret markers that you see normally on Les Paul customs. Really nice look to the neck there. Rosewood, the fingerboard is bound in an antiqued white finish, and on this side towards the player's face are little black dot fret markers on that binding, so that you'll always know where you are. Moving down to the body, as I said before, it's an SG flying V mating, if you like. Mahogany, of course. It has the thinness of the SG, so it's not a very heavy guitar. For its acreage, it's not very heavy. The pickups that the Zakk Wylde have mounted here are the EMG HZ is the part number. One of them is tuned for bridge, one of them is tuned for neck. I think they are slightly different pickups, but they are produced to work as a pair. EMG is sort of the voice of modern metal, if you like. They're very modern sounding pickup, very powerful. They don't have the idiosyncrasies of PAFs, paint applied fours, or P90s or anything like that. They're very much upfront power machines to overdrive amplifiers. Bridge, not surprisingly, as it's an Epiphone, is the Gibson style Tune-o-matic. These saddles here will go backwards and forwards. Each string has its own little saddle that you can move backwards and forwards to adjust the intonation. Basically, that's a check to get the octave playing in tune, which will then give you the best tuning up and down the neck. So these kind of things are normally set up before you ever get the guitar, but it's worth every now and then checking it out, especially if you change the gauge or make of your strings. String height or action is adjustable. There's a screw there and a screw there, so you can move this entire bridge assembly up and down and tilt it slightly to give you a lower or higher action depending on what playing style demands. The Tune-o-matic is normally teamed up with a stop bar or a stop tail, but here the strings are going through the body to be retained at the back in these grommets here. That helps in tone transmission and and sustain. Okay, controls, there's a volume pot for the bridge pickup, a volume pot for the neck pickup, and a master tone. The pickup selector, strangely, is up here. In a flying V, you might expect it to be here. On a Les Paul, you'd expect it to be there. It's an unexpected place to find a pickup selector, so be aware of that, because although you're generally not going to be too near it, it is there, and if you're a bit flamboyant, you could start knocking the pickup selector backs and forwards while you're playing. Okay, let's just have a wee listen to the pickups. So this is a moderate level of overdrive. This is the bridge humbucker on its own. Because this guitar isn't really built for saggy old classic rock like that, it's a heavy metal machine. So you also find when you do poke it into a little bit of a higher overdrive, you'll be spending less energy on the strings. So So there it is, the Epiphone Zakk Wylde, a bit of a metal monster if you are into that kind of stuff. A very playable light guitar. I must mention that at the time of this review they're selling this with a really nice fitted case, which is worth probably about 120 quid on its own. So around about 500 quid-ish, this is it's a bargain.